In the previous episode, we looked at Intel's past and how it lost its footing in the mobile revolution. In this 27th episode of Chip Wars, let's take a look at Intel's future and how it hopes to regain its dominance in mobile computing. Specifically, let's finally review Broadwell, Skylake, and how Intel hopes to make a big dent in wearable computing. So while the company is continuing to fight in mobile through its tablets, it's really preparing for a new market of devices. Intel calls this the next dimension of computing. Basically, this is any new smart product that can sense its environment and give information back to the user. These new smart products require a whole stack of parts that begin with sensors in the product, wireless radios that transmit the data back to data centers, data analysis tools on servers that can interpret this information, and ultimately give the user more control over the product. And Intel really wants to be a part of this, even to the point of sharing its own 14nm process with other companies that are working on the Internet of Things. Let's go over what it's doing. For the sensors, Intel introduced its own proprietary Realsense cameras. Similar to the Xbox Kinect, these cameras can read three-dimensional space to enable things like gesture control, 3D scanning, taking measurements, and even refocusing pictures after the shot. It does this by relying on three separate cameras and Intel's own proprietary software to infer depth in three-dimensional space. If this technology catches on, it has huge implications for autonomous drones by making them safer and smarter to fly, biometric security that includes facial recognition, hands-free gesture control of our future computing devices, and even robots that sense 3D space. At CES, Intel also introduced Curie, a system on a chip that includes a Bluetooth low-energy radio, a battery, and some sensors. This will help Intel advance its own smartwatch product line and also add value to its partnerships with Fossil and 50 Cent's own headphone company, SMS Audio. You know there's a lot of money in this market when Dr. Dre's working for Apple and 50 Cent is partnering up with Intel. Anyways, Intel definitely wants to make sure that its transistors are powering the future smart technology products and wearable devices. The CEO of Intel calls smart wearables a new playing field for innovation. Last year, Intel tried by launching its own smart bracelet, which looks like a super conspicuous attempt to put a smartphone on your wrist, which is too bulky for my taste. But next year will probably be better. But probably the biggest release this year will come from Intel and Google's partnership with Luxottica when they develop the next iteration of Google Glass. For those of you who don't know, Luxottica is a huge monopoly in the eyeglass industry, owning these brands and these retail outlets, offering a huge amount of distribution, promotion, and support for this next wave of smart wearable technology. But this time with Intel inside. Even luxury brands are approaching Intel and trying to figure out ways to add smarter technology to their luxury wristwatches. So while Intel hopes all these projects unleash the next wave of computing, the company's bread and butter has been and probably will be for a long time the PC industry. Since 2007, Intel's core processors have followed a Tik-Tok cycle. Every tick is a scaled-down die shrink of an existing design, and every Tok is a brand new microarchitecture. And even though PC sales have been flat, Intel has continued gaining market share every quarter. Fact is, more and more people are buying smaller, more efficient computers. And now, Intel is embracing all operating systems, including SteamOS. But it's the 2-in-1 detachables that are having the most impact, representing now about 10% of the tablet market. These are really great devices if you're a tablet-first consumer, but you really want to have the functionality of a laptop every once in a while. However, if you're a PC gamer, performance is all that matters. In 2012, software revenue from PC gaming surpassed console gaming, and it doesn't look like it's going to change anytime soon. 18 months ago, Intel launched Haswell, its latest microarchitecture. But the 5th generation core processors, Broadwell, fell behind schedule. Fact is, die shrinks and advanced chip fabrication is getting more and more complex and expensive as transistors shrink down to the molecular level. For scale, in the past 14 seconds, our fingernails have grown about 14 nanometers. Well, finally, Broadwell is here. It's smaller, has more transistors, better 3D graphics, better battery life, and it runs cool enough to support fanless designs. This past October, Intel launched Core M, a system on a chip that supports a fanless design mostly targeted towards tablets and 2-in-1 detachables. And compared to a 4-year-old laptop, Core M devices offer twice the performance, twice the battery life, and twice the thinness. But the big launch of the 5th generation Broadwell core processors is finally here. Broadwell U is designed for ultrabooks and next unit computing devices. The entire lineup has the same dual-core quad-thread processors, but with different GPUs and different clock speeds. Anything that says HD graphics offers less performance but better battery life. If the chip says Iris graphics, it actually offers the most performance by drawing more power. Now, compared to Haswell, the CPU performance is really nothing to brag about. Intel really focused on 3D graphics, video conversion, and of course battery life. But the average buyer of a new notebook is probably comparing a Broadwell-based system to a Westmere-based system. And when we look at it this way, we can see Intel's investments in chip fabrication, GPU performance, and a more integrated controller design really pay off in these metrics. Because Intel also bundles in the PCH, these new notebooks can be thinner and also offer more battery life. But the most exciting features that people will see in these new notebooks will be Wake on Command that can also sync up with Google Voice and Microsoft's Cortana.
Shut down the computer.
And wireless gigabit.
Using Intel's high-speed WiGig interface, I'm able to connect automatically to all my peripherals, not just keyboard and mouse, but monitors, network, printers, and even external hard drives.
Through wireless gigabit, Intel promises to do away with all wires by offering features like wireless docking, wireless streaming to a 4K monitor, and wireless charging. And future peripherals that are compatible will also be able to connect to these devices through the wireless interface. And in about 6 months, we can expect Intel to release its Broadwell H lineup of processors that are aimed for all-in-one devices and mini ITX motherboards, and Broadwell K, which is designed for PC gamers who build their own PCs. But some of you may want to wait for the 6th generation of core processors. In the latter half of 2015, Skylake will allow PCs to go completely wireless. Since most of the Broadwell bottlenecks were really focused on the new 14nm chip fabrication process, we can expect Skylake to be a much smoother ramp and release cycle. So 2015 is going to be a really exciting year for PCs as notebooks go completely wireless, with screencasting to 4K TVs, wireless peripherals that connect to computers through WiGig, and LTE support for different wireless carriers. We may even see some biometric security features using Intel's Realsense 3D cameras to allow you to log into websites in your computer using face recognition. So if you missed out on a new laptop last year, don't worry, because 2015 will be a glorious year for a whole bunch of new devices and features. So as the PC market stabilizes, as more and more people shift into notebooks and tablets, as the growth in smartphones slows, and as more everyday products become smarter and more connected, Intel will deliver technology that will enhance our digital lives along every step of the way. So thank you guys for watching this episode. I appreciate your feedback and all the videos as usual. I'll be doing other videos covering CES announcements, thinking about doing like a top 5 or a top 10 of all the announcements that came from that conference. Also working on future Chip Wars episodes. I saw comments about NVIDIA's latest mobile chip offerings, and I really want to get into GPUs eventually to show all the things going on with NVIDIA and AMD. So please leave comments, feedback. I appreciate all your support, and most of all, thank you guys for watching and spending your time here on My Next Appliance as we continue to watch how technology changes things.